that they're gonna grieve. This town is number one, we got the Lakers and the Sun. There's always lots of lovelies, always lots of fun. Oh, why won't you settle down and stay? Well, who in the right mind would ever leave her late? But I gotta tell you, got to put it straight. Still busted out of there, busted down the gate. Cause I had to get out while there was going to get. LA was the hunt, California was an end. So I got up and got off on my bucket. Sometimes you gotta say, well, what the hell, fuck it. Wasn't around for the riots of the king, but every other night bullets left my ears to ring. Hostility, the song that LA played. Walking in the alley, the one behind my house, came 5 slang bangers, it was me they were aroused. They asked me, where you going? Said, not really sure. Next 30 seconds I remembered in a blur. I wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Escape from the city of angels. I tried so hard for years to understand. Why do you find such pleasure in killing another man?
Yes, we are live here on this Wednesday night, live on the coolest of the cool, the Cooley Cool Show. Yeah, you're listening right now to Escape from LA. Well, sorry, Escape from Angels by Ithaka.
Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Escape from the city of angels. Well, 5 days later, what have I got?
Yep, you're listening here live on the coolest of the cool, the Cooley Cool Show. Your host, Brent, kicking it here live on this Wednesday night.
Took my brain, and since that day it never felt the same. If everybody just put down the arms, and nobody on the planet could ever come home.
Yeah, we're gonna start you off nice and right. Since last time on Sunday Night Vibe, we didn't go live, but we're live tonight. Oh yeah.
Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta escape from the city of angels. The people of this planet, they want explanations for riots, earthquakes, and all God's creations. You got me, I just couldn't.
That's right, we're kicking it here live, coast to coast, north to south, and even in Antarctica. Woo!
Escape from the city of angels. Well, 6 weeks later, still don't know what's up. Don't got many friends, still got an empty cup. They speak in tongues I don't understand, but I look just like.
Yeah, we got a lot of things we're going to talk about here tonight on this Wednesday night. Got a couple topics and some new type of things that's going on, but we're going to get to that. We got 45 minutes of unedited, raw, uncensored content for you.
It took me 2 years, but now I know for sure LA ain't the enemy and goodness will endure.
Well, I don't know if you can hear from my voice. I'm just actually happy right now to be live right now, kicking it and talking to each and every one of you. That's why I still got the music playing. I can't help it.
LA to LX in 14 hours flat. At home on 2 shores, but I ain't living fat. Still plagued by brokenness. It doesn't disappear when I say hocus.
Yeah, we're about to get started in just 1 second. I have to get this little dance vibe out of me real quick.
Hooked up with a mastermind named Grizzly. Formed Ithaka, now we're rolling busy. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Escape from the city of angels. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Wanna get out, have to get out, gotta. Escape from the city of angels. Escape from the city of angels. Escape from the city of angels.
Yep. That's going to be Escape from the City of Angels by Ithaka. That's an old one. Ooh, yes. We're here live on the Coolest of the Cool, the Cooley Cool Show with your host, Brent, kicking it here live from coast to coast to north to south, and even maybe in Antarctica. Uncensored, unbanned, unshadow banned, unghosted. Yes, we're kicking it here on this Wednesday evening. For those that are listening, thank you. I appreciate you, each and every one of you. You guys rock. That's what I'm talking about. So, let's see. So the title of this episode that I labeled for this podcast is Censored or Banned. I talked a little bit about this past Sunday on the difficulties that I had going on as far as setting up my podcast for Sunday Night Vibes, which is what I like to try to do on each and every week. And I kind of titled that as Sunday Vibes, even though I had talked about various different types of topics. But that one was kind of specifically, I love doing the Sunday nights. I love doing Sunday Night Vibes. I think it's a really good thing. It's kind of mellows me out, mellows a lot of people who are listening kind of out too. Gets you just ready for the regular, work week, so to speak. Oh, I'm sorry if I didn't tell you already. Be sure to follow and like and subscribe on me on my other social media platforms. You can also follow me on my Twitter account at CooleyCool2412. You can also follow me on my Instagram page at Brent the Champ. Yes, Brent the Champ. Yeah. You can also follow me on TikTok. I make a couple TikTok, even though I apparently have been getting shadow banned on TikTok at The Cooley Cool Show. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel, which my podcasts are automatically uploaded on my YouTube channel at The Cooley Cool Show. Thank you. So, as I said beforehand, I titled this Censored or Banned, and I kind of went on a rant as far as having not been able to go on live on Sunday. I had to do a pre-recorded podcast, and I don't really do that unless I had specified before. If I have to do it, it's because maybe I have something coming up and I'm not able to go live then. But I had everything set up on Sunday. I had everything ready, rocking, ready to go. And for some odd reason, I kept having network issues, and I don't know what it was for. I had to restart all my systems, all my programs, and reboot it back up. And I was doing this really quickly too, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm having network issues. And I even had reestablished my internet connections in my house to make sure that I have everything set up, everything was good. And for some odd reason, it still would not allow me to go live, to broadcast. I couldn't understand it. I didn't understand it. And like I said, the only thing is, it's whatever I had said, maybe the power may be, people could call me conspiracy theorist, people could call me crazy, whatever they want, but maybe the powers may be have probably maybe kind of like, okay, you're not going to go live today. We're going to kind of do whatever. And one of my biggest thing that I was kind of afraid of is that since it's pre-recording, I hope that none of my pre-recording that I had on my podcast from Sunday wasn't edited or modified in a different way. Now, I listened to it and I didn't hear any kind of thing going on. It seemed it's the same as the way I was talking. So I'm confirmed that nothing happened, but at the same time, it kind of leaves you a lot of, back burner thoughts there. Hey, maybe something's not cooking, maybe something's going on, and this can rifle soul, because like I said, I like to talk about certain various aspects of things that are going on in the world, and if it triggers a response, then guess what? It does. Last time I looked, here in America, we have the freedom of speech, and we have the freedom to talk about anything and everything. Though, within means, there are certain things that you cannot do. Let's say some entities or some social status or elites, the elites, don't want you talking about, because it has certain repercussions that can fall on to them and put them under the broad spectrum. Let me get my pronunciation right. And with that, this leads me into my first topic of discussion. If you had been following anything about over this past, toward the end of summer, about the trouble in Afghanistan. Yes, trouble in Afghanistan. There was a lot of military personnel, a lot of veterans, and a lot of citizens that were speaking out in reference to the incident and the issues surrounding Afghanistan, as far as the Taliban, a terrorist organization, having taken over the country of Afghanistan within a matter of days, not weeks, a matter of days, that the terrorist organization Taliban had taken over the country of Afghanistan. So you had a lot of people speak out about this, and a lot of people have had thoughts, had a lot of inputs, and people wanted to hold certain individuals, certain people accountable for their actions in regards to the reason why Afghanistan had fell to a terrorist organization that assumed power over that country. I mean, when we're talking about assumed power, we're talking about they took over. They came in your house, they cooked dinner, and they sat at the table talking about, what are you doing here? I'm like, what are you talking about? I live here. And they were like, no, you're not anymore. Sorry, buddy. And this was a big topic. A lot of people were talking about it, and especially those who were in military higher ups were talking about this. And one such military individual definitely spoke out of it. His video that he had made went completely viral, and it touched a lot of everybody. I'm not gonna say everybody, but touched a lot of people who were following the topic in reference to the incident going on in Afghanistan. Marine Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Schiller. I don't know where exactly he was stationed at, but I do know he had a social media platform which he spoke out in reference to the whole situation going on in Afghanistan, and he had spoken out in one of his viral videos that the leaders up in the Pentagon area, up in the government, should be held accountable for their actions as far as what happened in Afghanistan and for why the situation went as for it did. And I had just read on Fox News earlier today that the Marine Lieutenant Colonel has been jailed. Outspoken Marine officer who went viral boasting military leaders over in Afghanistan is jailed. Yes. Apparently he is now in the brig. For those who are not military and don't know the military lingo in reference to the brig is jail. Just another term. He was told by his superiors, supervisors to stop posting on social media in reference to the incidents and everything surrounding his videos, and basically just told to stop talking in general altogether. He was given an order immediately, and he ignored it and continued to keep posting about, apparently when I read it was a gag order. He was talking about it, and he completely ignored it. And as he did ignore it, repercussions began to fall into play in reference to him not abiding by what he was given an order to do. Apparently, he had also posted about something about the colonel. Says, please have the MPs waiting for me at 0800 on Monday. I'm ready for jail. Well, and apparently they did arrest him, and from what I got from the article, he is currently right now in the brig in the jail as far as not following. And this would probably fall in the lines of failure to follow, lawful order from superiors held above him. I can't remember what it is. I was in the military as well, but I just can't remember offhand. But it's a very serious charge, and if you're a former military veteran, one thing is you do know that you get in trouble in the military. The military is totally different than as far as if you get in trouble in the civilian world. It is a completely different realm. For instance, if you've watched the episode of Cops or anything like that, they always say at the end of the credits, and they say all individuals are innocent until proven guilty. Well, in the military, it's kind of the exact opposite. You're guilty until proven innocent, and that's how they're going to look at it most of the time. And the reason why, because once you take the oath and you volunteer to serve your country, you are held to a higher standard. You are to obey all lawful orders, given to you time and time again by those ranked higher above you and the officers appointed above you. So you're not you. you're you and you, but in reality, you're government property, which is exactly what you are while you are in the military. And as being in the military, you have to follow certain rules and regulations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And some of those reason why they have it is because some of the information that you are given, some of the stuff that you are told, you cannot be compromising the success or mission objective of what you're intending to do. And like it's a totally different aspect as far as the civilian world, as far as the whole, the court system and things like that. In the military system, it's completely different. That's why I said before, it's more or less you're guilty until proven innocent, and things can have lasting repercussions because, for Lieutenant Colonel Scheller, one aspect of it, he's in trouble right now. He's gone to the brig. I'm pretty sure he's probably then gotten out or going through the process. If he's still in, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't read that part. I haven't heard much of anything. I just know that he has been placed under arrest and he's in the brig. But what I do know that depending on certain severities and if you are found guilty, this, like I said, it can have repercussions on your military career and have repercussions on your once you get out of the military, forever how long, if you do a career 20 years or you do for a couple of years, it can have lasting repercussions. So what I mean by that is that, everybody hears about, oh, you got an honorable discharge. That's one of the aspects of it. That's saying you served your country in good faith and honorably, Then we've all pretty much heard those who have gotten a dishonorable discharge, which is probably worse than getting a felony charge, because you served your country, but then you were dishonorable in that. And that is probably, like I said, more harsher than being labeled as somebody who has a felony charge. And because it's a difference when you are, you're a citizen and you're not affiliated to, you're not serving your country, you're not helping defend. But when you make that mark of saying, hey, I'm going to do something better than myself and do something that many people have done over the course of history, serve one's country for whom they have, been brought up and they lived and their families from that. It's just a lot of difference because you're doing something, like I said, you're doing something better than yourselves. You are fulfilling a kind of moral and ethical, obligation to say, hey, I'm going out of my way to, render my services in the better defense of my way of life for the people where I live at, and like I said, it's a very tricky situation because, like I said, for that situation in the military, like I said, it has repercussions, and it can help you financially. It can help you sometimes socially. It can help you economically, and it can help you just in overall abundance if, like, you were to get something, as far as that dishonorable discharge out of the military. So, I can understand where this Marine Lieutenant Colonel is coming from because he wants to know what was the mission objective. You're telling me we're there for 20 years, and then all of a sudden this happens. And he wants answers. And he wants somebody held accountable. And he wants those rebels, the people who are in charge, held accountable for why the situation in Afghanistan. We understand that. But at the same time, it's very hard when you try to do that and you're affiliated with, obviously the government and the military. And when you have superior officers who are high-ranking officials, we're going to say along the lines of colonels, brigadier generals, lieutenant generals, telling you, stop talking about it, get off that, it has, and you don't abide by that, you don't follow their explicit instructions, their orders, there's going to be repercussions that are going to happen, I'm all for a person speaking their mind, standing up for what they believe in. But at sometimes, especially when it comes down to the military, it's different. It's very, very different. And I had explained this on my earlier podcast and my other ones. I had talked about how the Pentagon was going on and going to end up making the vaccination shot for the COVID-19 mandatory for all servicemen and women. And I had explained, I said, hey, I know some people can have different odds in between wanting to get it and one not to get it, but I kind of stated, hey, be very careful how you do this, because if you go ahead and try to go against the military's way of doing things and trying to fight the system in this, you're going to lose out on this. And the reason why is because you signed a contract, and in that contract is what I just said not too early ago, is that you are government property. So basically, the government is going to tell you to do certain things, and you're going to have to abide by it. Now, everything's built on a certain type of structure, a certain type of way on ensuring that they get things done. They don't have time for people to kind of talk and try to revolt. And it's not a civilian thing. It's not like a civilian job where you could be like, you know what, I quit, and just be like, screw this, I'm out of here. And the company or industry or the agency could be like, okay, whatever, and just be like, and be like done with you. No, it doesn't work that way. The military is totally different. It's different rules and regulations. And like I said in my earlier podcast, I kind of explained, I said, you have to be very careful how you tread about this, because the military is a different way, and this could have a lasting repercussion on your military career. So it's one of those gray areas. It's one of those, I'm not even gonna say it's a gray areas. It's one of those areas where you don't want to be caught blindsided when you knew the situation, and in reference to the situation, you had a chance to just kind of be like, I don't really want to conform to it, but the situation that I'm at, I'm going to have to try to mitigate and deal with it as best as I can. And hopefully when I get out or go on to do something else, then I can come back and I can come and talk about it, where I won't have to fall under certain repercussions as far as the harsh reality of those repercussions if I were still in. It's the same way as far as, I'm pretty sure many of the veterans have heard this. I mean, I've seen it plenty of times on, like a Facebook or whatever, and they talk about the hearing plugs that so many of our veterans that had from 2003 to like 2011, sometime around there, where the earplugs that they had issued to its servicemen and women, for going on the range and qualifying and being deployed. I don't know why we would ever wear hearing protection while you're in combat, because it's not going to happen. Telling you the truth. But they found out that those hearing devices that were the hearing plug to put in your ear were defect and had been related into causes of hearing loss for many servicemen and women. And people had eventually, I guess, after they got out, had found out that the reason that they had lost hearing is because of these defect in hearing plugs that they put in their ears. And there's been a lawsuit in reference to the whole thing, and it's a long story, but that's people having, you hate to say it, had to wait till something happened and then go ahead and decide to fight it then, but at the time it was, what am I gonna do? I got, this is what I gotta do. And so this is kind of a similar type of situation, but a little bit different, because now we're in 2021. Well, I can't believe that, 2021. God damn. But like I said, it's a very tricky situation. Like I said, I hope that Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Schiller, I hope things go well for him. I hope that this doesn't affect him in his personal and or military career. Hope everything works well. I mean, he's a fellow Marine. And, you know, it's, like I said, it's one of those things where you don't know how this is going to play out. And like I said before, you have to tread carefully along certain things. But, you know, he's definitely standing up for what he believes and what he believes is the right thing to do. And you can never question anybody about that, but it's time for the situation for where it's at. You kind of have to judge it a little bit because, like I said, it can have lasting repercussions. And you don't want to see anything bad like that ever happen. You know I don't. You know, like I said, you have a certain way, you feel a certain way. You all have right. You're a human being. You have the right to have an emotion. You have the right to have a thought process in things. You have the right to speak up for what you believe in. But sometimes it's basically like, you know, are you going to be yelling and while you're at, you know, church on Sunday, right in the middle of the sermon, say, I know in the back you're doing something, you're stealing that collection plate money, and you probably wouldn't want to be doing it at that time. I'm just saying, you probably want to talk about it offline a little bit, but you don't want to be standing up in the middle of that because people are going to be like, okay, hold on, bro. Bring it back. You know, okay. You know, Reverend Steeler brother ain't trying to, you know, he ain't trying to do the thing. He's like, I'll talk to your son after the church. You know, you kind of want to regress a little bit. You know, you talk him offline, not during things, because then people are going to think you're crazy. And frankly, the way the world is, it's not too hard to put it past a lot of people now these days. If somebody does some type of outburst, unless you're a little kid or you're a person with special needs, people are going to look at you and they're going to think, okay, you have an issue, you have a problem, and you're completely insane. They're not going to think that, you know, you're a kid or you have special needs. No, they're going to look at you and play, yeah, this guy's done seen one too many movies or whatever and thinks this is acceptable. No, it's not. While everybody else is sitting there like this. But then people say, well, you need somebody to stand up like that to do so. Well, like I said before, are you going to want to talk to the Reverend are you going to want to talk to Reverend Steeler brother offline, or are you going to want to stand up in the middle of the sermon while everybody looks at you and says, yeah, he's kind of lost his mind at this point? No. Play it by strategy, tactical wise, you know? So it's a little different. That's why, I still have so many thoughts running through my mind about a lot of things. Like, that's why I do my podcast. I want to talk to people. I want to be able to get people, you know, interested in certain topics and being abreast of certain things, you know, and, like I said, I told in my earlier podcast, I'm not going to be saying anything that, you know, is going to be, making stuff up. No, I'm not. Or I'm trying to cover something. No, I'm not. I'm actually going to be talking to you, and I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing and what I've said. Like, I believe, from what I remember, it was, matter of fact, I had my pre-recorded podcast on Sunday Night Vibes. I had talked about in CNBC, the news with Shepard Smith had talked, and one of the NASA scientists had said, asteroid predicts that giant asteroids could hit Earth in 2182. That's 161 years from now. If you had listened to many of my podcasts, I had talked about that China had said that we were supposed to be getting hit by an asteroid in some time between 2160 to 2170. And they plan on sending rockets up into space. And, you know, they about 50 to about 60, 70 of them in order to divert it off its course. But in the midst of them doing this, they're going to need money to be able to fund this, you know. But they're supposed to be doing this in November. Right? I said, I'm going to keep putting that out. So they're supposed to be doing this, you know, in November, you know. And, you know, NASA saying, oh, yeah, so we predict it's going to happen. And then with all the nonsense, they had said also that... I'm not making this shit up, man. I'm not. It said that apparently the asteroid, they're waiting for the sun to hit it, and it's going to heat up where it's going to reemit its energy back down to Earth And in 2 years, we'll be able to take a sample, which will be laying it out into the Utah testing range area with military transport and a NASA taking down to Houston. Yeah. Making stuff up at this point. Not me. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I was reading and what they're actually putting and publicizing out to the vast media, to everyone. Okay? So like I said, I'd have to be probably insane to think of some of this stuff up. I mean, that's why I give you one of my little stories, and we're gonna take a quick break. But when I was a kid, I read the tabloids. If you know anything about the tabloids back in the day, the tabloids was a magazine that had absurd and crazy types of stuff in it. It's crazy stories. And one of the stories that I had read, one of the tabloids, it was said, and I'm not even joking, it said, werewolf boy eludes police in a high-speed chase. And they had the car smashed up because the car got in a crash and then flipped over or something like that. And then they had a picture of the werewolf boy, and, and it was like, we're going to look out for this. That was posted at the tabloid. Okay? Somebody was like, yeah, and some people's reading it, but why would they put it in there? Was it a joke? Was it a comedy? Or were they trying to be serious about this? I don't know. Does anybody know? You're trying to figure stuff out, but then you come to figure out it's like everybody's in it just I don't know. To alter the minds of everyone and just to get them, I don't. But anyway, so I'm going to take a quick break. And come right back, and we're going to talk some more about some other stuff that's going on and, what's happening in the news. But yeah, stay with us for more of the live of the coolest of the cool, the cool show. Be right back. I'm going to go get something to drink, as I always say. I'm a halfway point. I'm going to go get something to drink, and I'll be right back. So stick with us. Be right back.
난 널 목말라 해 너무도 물이 필요해 하나 해요 난 엉덩이 깊이 파인 곳을 찾아다녀 달콤하게 날 더 바라봐줘 이 메마른 땅을 정글로 만들고 난 몸하고 또 탐험 You know how we do it We just do it All you ladies hands in the air All my ladies hands up in the air 그녀는 날 미치게 해 그녀는 날 숨쉬게 해 yeah. Oh she's mine Oh she's mine Oh she's mine Yeah she's mine All you ladies hands in the air All my ladies hands up in the air 그녀는 날 미치게 해 그녀는 날 숨쉬게 해 yeah. Get closer to my body 천국에다가 데려다줄게 body to body 낮이 밤이 될 때까지 waterfall 그 속에서 나 헤엄치고 싶어 You know how we do it We just do it All you ladies hands in the air All my ladies hands up in the air 그녀는 날 미치게 해 그녀는 날 숨쉬게 해 yeah. Oh she's mine Oh she's mine Oh she's mine Yeah she's mine All you ladies hands in the air All my ladies hands up in the air
So fresh It's been a long time man
날 숨쉬게 해
넌 남자들 욕망에 갈증 나게 하면서 어째서 주위 여자들은 물 먹여 내 마침 넌 제대로 된 상대를 만났어 난 태어나게 돼야 나 지수되겨 결과는 KO 고양이한테 생선을 맡긴 거야 늘 첫 경험하는 자세 앞뒤를 몰라 감탄사 대신 엄지척 다리 사이로 난 광주 출신 아니지만 전라도 환영 넌 겨울에 밤도 안 됐는데 자꾸 만지려 해 baby 물고 뜯고만 보고 튀겨
하고 싶죠 하고 있는데도 하고 싶을 거야 그럴 땐 이걸 꺼내 먹어
지금부터 달까지 포켓을 쏘아
All your ladies hands in the air All my ladies hands up in the air 그녀는
Yep, we're back here live on the coolest of the cool, the Coolly Cool Show. You're listening to Oasis by Crush. Yeah, this song is yeah. Song makes you feel good. So, you're back here live on the Cool, so the Coolly Cool Show. Yes, censored. We're banned. That's the topic. Well, that's the headline, the title of this podcast. So we were talking a little bit about the Fox News and the lieutenant colonel who had been jailed, who had spoken about the trouble in Afghanistan. And we talked a little about how certain things can have an effect on, especially for the military perspective. And we talked a little bit about, basically wanting to be able to have your freedom of speech and talk and do whatever. But in the same sense, it determines the situation. I say here in America, we are much, much fortunate to have certain rights as far as other countries where they don't have a lot of rights. And, here in America, man, it's a great thing to have people have certain rights as us being humans. So, I mean, I want to get off topic and not talk about that because I could go on a tangent about that. But, let's kind of shift gears a little bit. And I talked a little bit about space, and I brought up it as far as, the asteroids. But so, here's another space thing for you for space news. Space News had wrote, it said, classified satellite declared lost after China launches 2 in 2 hours. A Long March 3B rocket lifted from Exchange, I guess, Satellite Launch Center at around 4:20 a.m. yesterday morning. Basic long story short, they launched the satellites up there, and they have no idea what the hell it's doing. That's what I got from it. That apparently it's floating out in orbit somewhere, and they're trying to reestablish contact with it, and they don't know what the hell it's doing. It's probably like $1 billion or something like that, and the shit just is floating up there in orbit, and they don't have a goddamn clue what's going on. It's just floating out there in the cosmos somehow. But we're supposed to be dismissive on all this stuff, right? I'm just saying, not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying, it's just, think about it. That makes absolutely no sense. It's a $1 billion project up there, but apparently we're just going to dismiss it and be like, whatever. Yeah, what? Really? Are you serious? You launch something, you not think that heads are going to be rolling over this? They just wrote off like got a bad check, like, oh shit, just write void on it. I don't know, whatever. Like, what? Like, no. You know how much effort, how much material, how much research, how much, the funding had to go into that? Now, I said it's from, China's, CASC, China Aerospace Science and Technology Corps, that designed it and more or less put it together. But along with the funding for that, I mean, that's tremendous. But they don't know where it's at yet. They're still looking. It's in orbit. They went out there. They're just looking for it. Yeah. So in other news, ESPN had reported that Manny Pacquiao announces retirement. Congratulations, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao announces retirement. Gotta give it up to him. Gotta give it up to Manny Pacquiao. So, that's terrific. I mean, him being the senator, and I think he probably has a good chance of probably running for, president in the Philippines. I'm pretty sure he has a really good chance with the popularity and everything. But I think at this point in time, at his last bout that he lost, and it kind of wasn't even close. He lost in unanimous decision, and I think he probably kind of figured it's about time for him to kind of hang up the gloves and be able to do something else and just try to just, relax. I mean, he's gained a lot of the fame, the money, and this is from a kid that actually had it really hard growing up. And he took the form of boxing, and he did not get to where he was without hard work and dedication. And also, especially when his first bout that he got really noted from was the fact that he actually took a fight within less than, I think it was like a couple weeks notice, and he beat that fighter that everybody assumed that was going to beat him. And that's kind of put Manny Pacquiao on the map. Like I said, it's awesome. He's finally done fighting. He did a tremendous career fighting. You have to definitely give up to Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, if you're actually listening to my show, man, Pac-Man, thanks. Yeah, great career and everything. And you're going to have a great success with whatever you're doing. So just keep going. And trying to see other news. Well, football season's in swing. We just don't know this way these football teams are going. So I'm not going to give a test on it. I'm not going to talk about the football because they're going to have too many people that are going to have a heartfelt, desire to want to chime in and be like, oh, this is my football. Yeah. I'm going to keep it nice and soft, subtle and quiet. I'm not going to delve into that third dimension. Wait, hold on. Are we in the third dimension? I believe we are in the third dimension. I'm not going to delve into the fourth dimension. Besides, anyway, I just want to question. Is the fourth dimension a parallel between space and time? Is that where you actually can go back in time or forward in time? Or you can manipulate time or you can slow time down? I'm just wondering. I've heard so many theories and the possibilities says there's probably multiple dimensions that we live in. But really, do you think there's a fourth dimension? And if so, is it what I just said? Is it deals with space and time? Does it? I mean, it'd be probably a good topic of discussion if anybody can, help me find out what fourth dimension is. Is there a fifth dimension? Is there a sixth dimension? Is there a seventh? Is there 100 dimension? I don't even know. I guess maybe we're all being played by a video game person. Maybe we're playing that. I don't know. Maybe somebody's with the joystick with the PlayStation, like, yeah, this dude's doing this. Well, I know probably a lot of people are probably saying, well, the person who's playing me kind of sucks because they're not making me rich right now. They're not making me famous right now. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. Is it on level 100 hard? This is complete other craziness. So, I don't know. Just gonna have to see on certain things, I guess. I don't know. And that song right there says it. We've come to the end of us. Another great podcast here on the Coolest of the Cool, the Cooley Cool Show, live on this Wednesday night. So make sure that if you don't follow us already, you can follow us on our other social media platform. Be sure to follow us on my Twitter channel. It's CooleyCool2412. You can also follow my Instagram, Brent the Champ. You can also follow me on the TikTok channel, Cooley Cool Show. You can also follow me on YouTube. My podcast here automatically up to my YouTube channel, The Cooley Cool Show. You also make sure you can listen to us on Spreaker.com, which is what we're bringing broadcasting through, Spreaker.com. You can also follow us on our other social media platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And there are probably going to be some more coming up, but I just don't have it right now. Figure out which ones that are out there, but those are the ones that I can say. So, as always, I forgot to tell you, each and every one of you are special. So I want to say thank you for listening. Be sure to chime in on us. We're play on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sunday nights. So, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, thank you for listening. Take care. Bye. You're here live on the Coolest of the Cool, the Cool Cool Show with your host, Brent. Bye.
Hey. Yeah? I was wondering, do you know the difference between love and obsession? No? And what's the difference between obsession and desire? I don't know. Do you think